Welcome to S Class, the highest tier in podcasting. Today, I'm joined by the worst anime dad of all time. It's Rob.
I would say that between the two of us, you're 100% going to be a worse father.
No
Are
way.
you kidding me?
Well, we could put this up for debate, but there's no way.
Okay, right now we got Show Tucker tier, and I think that's where you're going.
No, stop that. Listeners, we have, if you're listening via the audio experience, we highly recommend going to our YouTube, which is S Class, and we are doing something a little bit different. We're on Tier Maker, and we have found 20 of the potentially worst anime dads of all time, and we're going to rank them from S to F, and we've added some fun titles to each of these tiers. Rob, why don't you start us off and give us the S tier?
All right, so S tier is the one that you're in, is our Show Tucker tier.
No, that's absolutely false. Our A tier is borderline villain.
Our B tier is called Child Protective Services.
C tier is needs a vasectomy.
D is single mom.
E tier is somehow decent.
And F is a good dad. Solid.
The worst of all things that you could possibly be on this worst dads tier list is the good dad.
Good dad. You're okay. You got the job done.
Rob, I think the way we'll do this is we'll take turns selecting one of our 20 anime dads. If you don't know who this person is, we can ask each other. But pick you get first stab, and we'll talk about where this bad dad belongs.
I think let's start with Joseph Joestar.
So this is old Joseph. Okay. What is your proposal?
I would say D, single mom tier.
So, okay. Do we know anything about his other children? Just throwing that out there.
And he has Josuke.
Who's the first one?
Holly.
Oh, right. He kind of loves Holly, though. Does that raise him up, even though he's a terrible father to Josuke, literally impregnated the teenage mom and then left the country?
But he didn't know he had Josuke.
Yeah, that almost makes him a bad dad. But I did not finish part 4, and without spoiling to our viewers or listeners, how bad was he once he came back and had dementia and got to meet his son for the first time?
Eventually, as it progresses, his Alzheimer's cures itself. And he becomes
does he become
savvy.
a piece of shit, or does he get better?
No, he just becomes Joseph again.
And he's a better dad-ish?
No, he's still a terrible father to Josuke, or not even a father to Josuke, so...
But here's the counter-argument. He literally goes on a cross-country world tour to go kill Dio to save his other child.
That is true. Okay, I you know what? Despite the fact that he literally left Josuke to a single mother, I think he's somehow decent, yes. I'll give you that
he's
one.
He's between D and E, right? He's like, if we were doing pluses and minuses, he'd be like an E plus or something, right?
But I'll give you the E.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm going to go with, I think this might be the only dad you don't know. This is the dad from Dororo, and his name is Daigo. So basically, this is like ancient Japan, and he's the lord of a village, and I think the village is kind of going to shit. And he goes to the temple, and he forges a pact with a whole bunch of demons and says, in exchange for giving me your power, demons, I will sacrifice my newborn child to you guys. And each of the demons gets a piece of his newborn child. Like, one of them gets his eyes, one of them gets his other body parts.
Okay, so what did he get in exchange for that?
He got the power to rule the country or something like that. I did not finish the series.
Okay, based on that description, I'd say borderline villain.
He's pretty bad, yeah. And then you don't even know what Dororo's about, right?
I do not.
Basically, Dororo is like his son who grows up. Dororo's not even his name, but the kid grows up, and he's kind of like this puppet human because he has no eyes, he can't hear, and all these other things.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, so he kind of goes on this hunt to go kill all those demons and get his body parts back, and I think eventually he goes to hunt down his dad.
Okay, so he is a villain.
Yeah.
It's not even borderline.
He's pretty close to S tier.
You see, if I knew more about him, it'd probably end up in S tier, but
I'm happy to put him in A tier. I think that's the right placement.
all right,
Okay,
let's go.
it's your pick.
Let's go with. Is that Mr. Satan?
Which one? This
Down
one?
Bottom right, yeah.
That is Paragus. I threw some curveballs in here for you to see if you would know who they are.
Wait, Broly's dad?
That is Broly's dad.
He's definitely called CPS.
He's. But here's the thing: is he? Is he really the worst dad? Is this the one that you're going with for now, or?
Yeah, we're definitely doing this.
Okay, give me your initial rating, and I might have to play devil's advocate with you.
I'm gonna say B, even though like they're outright villains. They're like Dragon Ball like comedy villains. No, they're not even that, but I just don't take them seriously.
Right, he's like in a couple movies. It's pretty hilarious, but here's the thing. He's actually not a bad dad. Like, he goes to King Vegeta and says, "Don't kill my son." King Vegeta is actually just a shitty ruler. He's trying to kill this newborn child because he's stronger than his own son, because he's a jealous asshole. And then he tries to save his son, and his son just has this uncontrollable rage that he can't control him with, so he has to mind control him, sort of. And he's like, all right, well, I got this unstoppable monster as a son. I might as well try and rule the world and get revenge. So I would say he's not a good guy, but he's not the worst dad.
Hey, you know what? I'm changing my mind. He is the single mom. He is our single mom. Paragus. D. He's my D. I'm giving him a D.
Wow, that was a drastic upgrade for
convinced me.
Paragus. Okay. All right, let's stick with the Dragon Ball theme. I thought we might actually be rating Paragus worse, so higher on the tier list.
Yeah.
And I was gonna make the argument that he's actually a better dad than the other Dragon Ball dads we have on here. I'll start with Goku. Goku's not a good dad, but he's not the worst dad.
You see, the funny thing is, Goku is a worse dad than him.
I think Goku is probably in the needs vasectomy category. Like,
exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Goku should not be a father. Like, I don't even think he understands that, like, how to make babies, and things just happen. He's like, oh shit, I guess I got kids now. And
he literally chose to
right,
die rather than raise his second child.
Yeah. And
the option was stay on Earth with your child or die.
Was that the option?
Essentially, he stayed dead for 12 years until there was a tournament.
Oh, right. He saw everything going on with King Kai.
Yes.
There's a couple of other things, like he let his son, who's now stronger than him, fight the most destructive villain in the world, and his son's like 11 or 12 at the time. And then he gives Cell the sensu bean to say, hey, why don't you mess up my son a little bit more?
He's a terrible dad.
He's a pretty bad dad. Like, well, let's go back a little bit. So between Saiyan Saga and Frieza Saga, does he do anything else horrendous?
I mean, the fact of the matter is that he basically gets himself killed so that Piccolo, who at the time was his biggest rival villain yet, to raise his son in the wild.
Yeah, so he might be, like, if you were watching this incident from outside, he might be called Child Protective Services. Like, do you think Goku knows how to cook and, like, feed his son? Or do you think he knows how to do those, like, basic needs that a father should? I don't think he does.
No.
I think he's between B and C. I might give him the benefit of the doubt and give him the C.
I think C. I mean, he's a terrible father, but, like, when I'm thinking of some of these other guys on this list, they're going to be above Goku. And
I think, and somehow Gohan still loves his dad, I think.
Exactly.
And even Goten loves his dad too.
For whatever reason, even though he doesn't actually know him.
All right, it's your pick.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right, Vegeta. What are you thinking?
You see, I think Vegeta's a better dad than Goku.
I think you're absolutely wrong.
Really?
Give me... I think that Vegeta is a terrible dad up until... All right, so first of all, the way he treats Future Trunks is awful until, like, the very end when he's about to die.
But that's not his son.
I mean, technically it is. Like,
Is it
imagine
technically? I feel like technically it isn't. If we're going with technically,
technically it is alternate universe Vegeta's son.
is
Is that what you're
technically
saying?
another Vegeta's son. Yes.
All right, whatever. Technically, you were correct.
Thank you.
Same idea though. Like, imagine that some teenager came up to you and said, "Hey, I'm your dad from the future," and let's say you totally believe this. He totally treats this kid like absolute garbage, and then you have young Trunks, who I don't know how good of a dad he is either. Like, the kindest act he ever does for his child is he chops him in the back of the head and then he suicides himself.
Yeah, but that was like a dope moment and like very poignant.
It was
And, like,
poignant, but I'm saying
but here's the thing.
that's the kindest thing he's done.
Present timeline Trunks cares about his dad in like a genuine way, and Vegeta at least raised his son and trained him.
Does,
I mean,
does
he is
he treat
half Saiyan.
does he
That's how
treat Trunks like a son, or does he treat him like a fighting partner?
he treats him like the son of a Saiyan, which is all Vegeta knows. I think Vegeta raised that child exactly as Vegeta should have been expected to.
Which doesn't necessarily make him a good dad, because you
And
can make the
then,
argument that all Saiyan dads are just terrible as well. Like, is Bardock a good dad? And he's not even on this
okay, wait,
list.
Bardock's better than all of the dads.
No, he's not. He's terrible.
Are you kidding me? He went up against Frieza and to get his son out of there.
I think
To
he
ship
went
his son
up against Frieza in a moment of anger against Frieza controlling the race, not because he wanted to save his son.
But he did save his son.
No, that was a byproduct.
Debatable.
And he wasn't even successful.
I think Vegeta's E. He's somehow decent.
Oh, man.
I really don't think Vegeta's a bad dad, especially if you watch Dragon Ball Super.
Well, if you were smart, you just wouldn't watch Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, well, I watch Dragon Ball Super. And he's a great dad to Bra.
Not to Trunks, though.
You know.
I don't think so. I think the way that we've created these tiers is kind of segregating him from being like, I don't think that he's somehow decent. He's definitely not a good dad. I think he is.
No, I think he's a somehow decent dad.
I think he's a little bit worse than that, in my opinion. But he's definitely not single mom tier, so I will keep him in somehow decent.
Thank you.
Let's go with the fourth Hokage.
This is a tough one for me.
Oh shoot, I forgot to throw Naruto in here. It's fine.
Oh, he's also a terrible dad.
Also a terrible dad. Also, just sidebar, this was actually a lot harder for us to come up with these 20 terrible anime dads because most of them just don't exist.
Yeah, they're not even in the story.
They're like all single mom tier, except you don't even get to meet them once. But fourth Hokage, I'm probably gonna go. I think he somehow ends up in somehow decent, but makes terrible. Okay, so hear me out. I thought he'd be worse than this, because. Okay, maybe we can talk about this. So he only gets to know his son for like 35 seconds. Yeah. And then he disappears and traps a giant demon inside of his child. If that's not love, what is?
I feel like that's a Child Protective Services call is what that is.
Okay, real talk though. He would have been a good dad, I think, if he didn't die that day. But he literally, like...
But based on the events of that day,
right? If you had to trap a demon into somebody, do you have the right to trap it in anyone besides your own child? Like, can I trap a demon into your child? Because I was like, nah, I want my kid to have a normal life, but I'll just throw this in Rob's baby.
But my question is, I don't think Naruto didn't have friends because there was a demon inside him. I know that's what everybody says, but I think he didn't have friends because he was an asshole.
Because Naruto is an asshole.
Yes.
I think that's true, and also I think that the government and the village did a really bad job of taking care of him as an only child with no parents from the age of birth. I think
they should have called Child Protective Services on the entire Hidden Leaf village.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's Minato's fault. I think that's like the third Hokage's fault.
He set it in motion. I got him in B.
That's really high. I will meet you in C. I'll meet you in
Yeah.
the C range.
Probably shouldn't have had the kid to begin with.
Somehow we got to the point where Vegeta and Paragus are better dads than the fourth Hokage.
Yes,
Okay.
I stand by that.
All right, it's your pick, Rob.
Give me. Let's do Garp. Monkey D. Garp.
Monkey D. Garp. Okay, what do you got?
Okay, I love Garp. Garp's one of my favorite characters, but he's a terrible dad and a terrible granddad, and a terrible dad to Ace, and a terrible dad to Sabo. He's pretty much an all-around not great parent, but he has a single mom.
Stop! You're
He's doing it-
wild.
He's doing it all on his own.
You're insane. He's easily called Child Protective Services, if not worse.
That's true. What does he do to Luffy? He throws him in holes. He throws him in the forest. He sends him
literally
into
takes
the
all
sky.
3 of these kids, and I don't think he's Sabo's granddad.
No, but it was,
No.
they-
I don't think he really is. I think that he adopts Ace as his grandchild, but Sabo becomes brothers with the other 3. I don't think he really owns Sabo.
No, not that he owned Sabo, but didn't he have a relationship with Sabo?
I don't know if he does.
Oh, maybe not, actually.
I don't
I
think
can't
so.
remember now.
I think the
Yeah.
3 kids are brothers by their
Yes.
drinking sake, but I don't think he's related to the other 2.
He's
to
technically not
Sabo, I
related
mean.
to Ace either.
Okay, so this is why first of all, he throws like Luffy and Ace into like be raised by Dadan, who's like an abusive mom.
Oh,
And-
Dodonna's the best mom.
But not only
She
that,
did her best.
she
for
barely
being a
tried.
bandit. I mean, yes, she was a bandit, but she was a damn good mom.
But these kids are literally fighting pirates, living in the woods. Like they're like 6 or 4 or however old. And then the nail on the coffin for me is the fact that he could have prevented Ace's death. Like this is like one of the strongest Marines of all time with one of the greatest influences. I think that he could have worked out something to get Ace out of there.
Okay, this is a conversation for a different day, but like, we could talk to hours about how I disagree with that.
You don't think that he could have done something to prevent Ace from? He just kind of sat there on the side. He waited till the very last minute to do something.
I think if he did
gritted
anything,
he just gritted
would've-
his teeth and said, "Okay."
the issues and death toll would have been far greater if he did anything to protect Ace, because that would have been the equivalent of him turning on the Marines, and that would have just been a disaster.
So you're saying he had no other choice? That was his best option.
Yes.
I think a really good dad would have taken the chance and sacrifice to try to rescue Ace from that situation, rather than accepting the inevitability.
Letting Ace, those things happen, Ace was the only way to save Luffy. I think Garp knew that.
I don't think so. I think he was conflicted with his role in the Marines because it's part of his identity, and he was and because his role of a Marine is a stronger piece of his identity than being a grandfather to these kids, he chose that one over the other one until the very last minute where his identity conflicted with itself.
I don't know. I mean, Garp had a chance to capture Luffy, and he didn't. He let Luffy go after Enies Lobby,
Right.
which is putting his grandson ahead of his duty.
Right. I feel like there was never any the tone of that situation was much less serious though. Like I remember
true.
reading
Yes.
that chapter and being like, oh, this is just like kind of like a fun chase scene. Like
Yes,
there was never
it
any
was.
seriousness to it.
But that's the point. And we also saw how upset Garp was about the Ace situation.
Right.
And he let Dadan beat the shit out of him over it.
But Dadan is a like 60-year-old woman with like, I don't know, a club. This is the strongest Marine of all time. Like he's letting her take out his anger, but it's not actually going to hurt or kill him. And also he definitely, even if she could, he'd probably take it anyway. But that
He did. He did.
I don't think that is a penance for him being a better granddad.
I don't think he's B.
Do we meet in the middle though?
I would have said single mom.
I think he's at least a C. Like, look at all these offspring or people that he looks after, and look how that turned out. Dragon, Luffy, Ace. He should not be having children if this is how he's going to treat 100% of his children.
He is fair. He is fair. I'll give you that.
I don't even know how you got down to single mom. That is garbage.
I like Garp.
Let's go with. Let's see. Let's go with Judge.
Okay, he's a 100% borderline villain for me.
Yeah, he's easily B if not A. He loves 4 out of his 5 children.
Does he even though?
But he loves them as weapons.
Yes, there you go.
But he also treats them really good, regardless of if he treats them like weapons or if he treats them like humans. He gives them a lot of like care.
Yeah, but he also abused Sanji and his wife.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, if you think about it, he's 80% good. 4 out of 5.
What are you recommending he get ranked?
I'd probably go B, but I could take A.
So,
because I get it. It's for me, it's sort of like a means to an end. Like, he doesn't treat his kids like kids, but he also treats them very well.
He's got a lot of Endeavor in him, I feel. I feel like him and Endeavor will be on the same line wherever they are. And I think that's B.
I think Endeavor's... You know what? You're right. If we want to kind of talk about these two at the same time, Endeavor, I haven't fully caught up to the manga, but I think he becomes a better dad later on.
He does.
Right? And I think that to put them on the same level isn't really fair. So maybe Endeavor...
They're very similar, though, in the sense that their children were made to be like superior beings.
But I don't think that Judge ever has the redeeming arc.
Right.
And I think that to put them on the same level, it's kind of an insult to Endeavor's growth, which is like a huge part of his character. And I think you're probably right with your first thing of putting Judge.
I think you could put Judge A and Endeavor in B.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Anything else to say about Endeavor? Because they really are similar characters.
Endeavor, I don't want to go into spoiler territory. I mean, he has redemption. He becomes a much more well-rounded character. But,
does he have any funny dad moments that we'd like to highlight?
No, there are none. He's still like incredibly stoic and an asshole, and not a great dad, and does not know how to relate to his children.
I want to jump back to Vegeta one more time. How does he treat... No, hold up. Because I'm just thinking about these like very stern fathers. How does Vegeta treat Bra?
Oh, like gold. This is
really?
Girl. Yeah.
I would think that because she's not like a Saiyan warrior, that he would treat her way worse, but...
No, I mean, at that point, he's been like on Earth for 15 years.
She's just daddy's little girl at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to check in on that.
Yeah. I'm standing by Vegeta there.
Fine. I'll let you hold your stance. I will let you go because I feel like I kind of just took these two together.
Let's do Joichiro. Saiba Joichiro. This one, easy for me. He's our first, just by comparison, good dad. He's
genuinely a good dad. Yeah.
Yes.
I think originally I was thinking he's somehow decent, but he's actually a good dad. Like, he's actually there for Soma's entire childhood.
Yeah, as a single dad.
He just has this one moment where he says, "Hey, I'm leaving," and not letting you know. And then he sends him to the most prestigious cooking culinary university.
Yeah, which it's not like he leaves him like full on high and dry. He sends him to the school.
Takes care of the funding for that, and also that's probably the happiest place in the world Soma could be.
Yeah, I think Joichiro is a great dad, and he sporadically reappears and helps Soma learn to be a better chef, but doesn't like outright tell him what he needs to do.
He humbles him. Like his son is one of the best chefs in the world as like a 15-year-old, and he like kind of says, "Hey, watch your shit. You're not that good yet."
Exactly.
And keeps him on his toes while still kind of being like, I don't want to say like tough love, but not like super caring, but not too harsh.
Yeah, I think he's just an all-around good dad for the circumstances.
Yeah, he's not. If we were to do a good dad list, which I think might be coming up eventually, he wouldn't be the top, but he's definitely not the bottom of that.
No, but I think if we were to do a good dad list, he'd still be pretty high on it.
Yeah, he'd be somewhere up there, middle high.
Especially compared to everyone else.
Okay, I will take.
Oh,
I'm gonna
God.
go with Gambino. I'm gonna say Gambino is in the Show Tucker tier.
I would agree with that.
Do you have your favorite Gambino atrocity?
My favorite Gambino atrocity, I would say, trying to. There's just so many good ones.
What can you say to someone who has never read Berserk, knows nothing about Gambino, to give him an understanding of how this guy is Show Tucker tier?
This is one of those where I just don't know how to put it.
How can I say this and not get banned on the internet?
He's he is a. I don't even know why we're even calling him a dad.
He's pretty terrible. You want to throw it out there? You just can't even get it out.
This one's on you.
Let's just say that he lets one of his buddies do some things for like $10 to his son.
Yes. And then tries to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Let's go to Yasop.
Yasop. What do we even know about Yasop?
We know that he's as pirate as a pirate can be.
He's we know safe. I think
he needs a vasectomy.
He's easily single mom tier, right?
You think?
I think he's kind of worse than single mom tier.
That's why I'm putting him in C.
Oh, okay. I keep getting messed up with these opposite tiering. I think the thing that moves him from single mom tier up to C is that not only does he like leave his son completely, but I'm pretty sure his Usopp's mom was sick at the time.
Yes.
Like she was like dying, like terminally ill, or like something like that.
Yeah.
Or she got terminally ill shortly thereafter.
No, actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he knew. I'm not sure if he ever knew.
Maybe it was shortly thereafter. Maybe does that redeem him a little bit then?
It does redeem him a little bit.
Does he just go down to single mom tier because it's
no?
Not like...
I still think it's C.
Why?
Because he doesn't even know his son.
But isn't that the definition of single mom?
But he also doesn't even care. Like,
isn't that the definition of single mom tier though?
But I'm saying Shanks is a better dad to Luffy than Yasop is to Usopp.
I'm making the argument that Shanks isn't in single mom tier though.
Where would if Shanks was on this list as Luffy's dad, where would he be?
Oh man, yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, he's
Actually,
not. He's definitely not decent. Is he decent? No.
No, Shanks would be a good dad.
But he's not.
His arm cut off to save Luffy.
But he was literally there for like a year of Luffy's life, and then hasn't seen him yet, and he's had multiple opportunities to run into him.
Because he's waiting for the moment, just like Joichiro.
18 years later. No, it's not the same. Joichiro gets to see his son every year, multiple times a year.
Shanks
raised him for 15 years. It's different. I think that Yasop is like a worse version of Shanks, but I think he's Yasop, but they're in the same level, I would say.
No. Shanks is substantially better than Yasop.
We don't even know that much about Yasop and Usopp's relationship because Usopp looks up to his dad. He might know a little bit about him, like as a kid.
I mean, yeah, he's inspired by him to be a pirate.
So maybe he actually has a relationship like Yasop. Yeah, because like I remember there's a scene where they're in the bar and Yasop was talking to Shanks, talking to Luffy. He's like, "I have a son your age," and kind of like that. Right,
yeah.
So maybe he has that 1 or 2 year relationship with him. Maybe he didn't just hit it and then jump out and onto the boat and leave.
I'll give you D.
I think he's like kind of the definition of D for me.
Yeah, you're right. Though I will say he shouldn't have had Usopp to begin with.
Arguable, yeah. But then where would we be with the Straw Hats? Probably
We also
better
wouldn't
off.
have him on our list.
We might have a better sniper, to be honest.
We might have
That
Carrot
uses a gun instead of a slingshot.
or Carrot.
No, never.
You're not ready. You're not ready for this conversation.
I'll go with Van Hohenheim. Did you ever get to meet Van Hohenheim?
No, you'll have to tell me about this one.
Van Hohenheim is Ed and Al's dad.
Okay.
So he was around when they were kids, like up until the age they were like 7 or 8 or something like that. But he was always like buried his head in the books trying to like find a cure for his issues with alchemy without getting into spoilers. So he wasn't really a present dad. And then like shortly before their mom got sick, he like went on this journey to go solve that issue, but never came back. And then only years later did he find out that his wife died, his kids burned down the house.
Not great.
So definitely in the single mom tier. In the end of the series, he does a couple of things to show up in their life and sort of redeem himself. But I don't know if they make up for the, like, I don't know if that 6 months or 1 year of decentness makes up for 15 years of being completely not present, even while being physically there.
Sounds like a D to me.
I think it's a D. I think he's slightly better than Yasop, but oddly enough, his kids hate him way more than Usopp loves his dad.
Really?
Yeah, Edward hates Ben Hohenheim. Al is sort of okay with him.
Interesting. So maybe it should be C. Because, I mean, all our dads in C have children that love them.
Oh. In C?
Yeah. Luffy likes Garp. Oh, we don't know about Dragon, but...
I don't think Dragon likes Garp.
I don't think Dragon likes anyone.
I think Dragon thinks of Garp as like a pig that sold out.
Yeah, but I don't think he hates him.
Yeah, I think he's like, whatever.
And we don't know nearly enough.
Yeah, we don't know
Dragon
nothing about Dragon. 1,000 chapters in, we know nothing about Dragon.
No.
So you're saying that Hohenheim's a worse dad? I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep him in D.
Okay, that's fine.
Based on my
I don't
judgment.
know enough, so it's up to you on that
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna keep him there.
Now let's do Dio.
Dio-sama. I have not watched part 5. I know nothing about Giorno.
Neither does Dio.
Is he just a single dad, or is he worse? Do we know anything about Giorno's mom?
No, not really much either.
So is Giorno an orphan?
No. Dio doesn't even know he has a son. Wait, Dio's dead.
How did he do this again? Was this during part 3 when he just had like a harem?
Yes. So Giorno is also technically Jonathan's son too.
Because that's how DNA works.
Is it? I don't know. It's Dio's head on Jonathan's body.
So he's technically not Dio's son at all. I guess it depends on the DNA. What is the...
Actually, he doesn't even naturally have blonde hair, Giorno. So...
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Oh, I thought that's where he got the Dio hair from.
No.
So technically, Dio's not even his dad.
No, Dio's his dad.
No.
The series makes a point of saying that Dio is his dad.
If his mom went to court, and who would the father be?
Well, Jonathan doesn't really exist.
Well, Jonathan's just as dead as Dio.
Well, now Dio was at least alive, kind of, when he had Giorno.
To consummate Giorno.
It was Dio's brain making Giorno.
But what does the test say? Who's the daddy?
I really don't know where Dio goes here.
I think he goes to single mom tier, right?
Giorno doesn't even know he exists.
I know, that's single mom. Why do you keep having to go back to saying that the child has to know the parent for single mom tier?
Is Dio Brando a better father than Son Goku?
I think
yes,
the way...
Yes, he is.
I think the way that we did these tiers... Okay, so the D tier is an interesting one because it kind of assumes that you just are not present really, right? So it kind of like gets rid of some of your blemishes. Like you're kind of just like, you're not there for good or bad decisions. Whereas Goku just makes really bad decisions. I don't know. It's a blurry line. Is he a better dad than Goku, Garp, and the fourth
No,
Hokage?
no. Put him in B tier.
Stop. Really?
He has other kids.
Does he?
Yeah.
So are these there's stand users all over the world?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? He's a terrible dad. Absent to everyone. We need a phone call on him. And we need compensation. We need child support.
Yeah, fine, fair. I mean, he kind of rules the world. He could get as much child support as they need. All right, let's go with Eren Yeager. What I know you hate Attack on Titan. How much do you know about Grisha Yeager?
From what I remember, he pretty much sets the entire plot in motion, right?
So you got that far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes him a borderline villain.
All right. Do you know his backstory?
I don't think so.
All right. I'm going to give you the 1 minute summation of Grisha Yeager. Okay. You're like, just cut me out of this section. Just give him a ranking, damn it. Okay. Grisha Yeager has 2 sons, Eren, and he has another son from another wife back on the other island, which is spoiler for everybody. Huh?
What's his name?
Zeke, also known as the Beast Titan.
Which one's the Beast Titan? Is that the monkey?
The giant monkey that kills everybody.
I thought his dad was the monkey.
No. So Grisha raised the Zeke, the older child, to like be a spy against like the Nazis, essentially, to infiltrate them. And he was never there to raise him. And when he was there, he was just like drilling in facts into him. He was pretty much the worst dad ever. And then as a result, the 5-year-old or 10-year-old Zeke betrays his dad and sells out all their people and gets them all killed.
Yeah.
So that's his first step of fatherhood. Totally neglectful, bad dad. Second one, he's actually a pretty decent dad to Eren and Mikasa until he goes on a journey, because they all go on a journey. And then he comes back, wife's dead. And he's like, okay, Eren, it is now your responsibility to avenge us. Injects him with fluid and turns him into the Titan.
Yeah, no, he's probably A.
I'd say at least B. Probably B.
He sounds a lot worse than Endeavor.
Huh.
Like thousands of lives were lost as a direct result of his actions. He might be S.
He's pretty bad, actually. Now that you mention it, takes his like 6-year-old child into the forest. No, like not 6, like 10-year-old child into a forest, and turns him into a monster, and then has that child eat him.
Yeah, that's gonna be an S for me.
I'm gonna throw him in the A. Yeah, I'll put him in A, because I think he has some good moments until the end.
I don't know about that. All right, let's do Papa Nakiri.
Nakiri. What the hell is his name again? Azami.
Yeah.
I know not that much about him. He uses Erina as like a taste tester, essentially.
Yeah, he's another single mom tier guy. He's not that bad. And once he's, defeated, he comes around like everyone always does. And at the end, everything's all happy and the Nakiris are a happy family again.
From what I know, though, I feel like he'd be like B tier. Like he does like a lot of mental trauma to Erina, though, right? Like he doesn't hit her, but
the way things end, he ends up being a part of the family, and Erina's happy about it, I guess.
That sounds like a bunch of anime bullshit to me.
I think you're right.
I think he's at the very least shouldn't have children.
No, you know what?
Very worst,
I'm thinking B, actually, because there was a lot of emotional abuse when she was a very small child.
I only watched I watched all of season 3. I just remember like her like freezing in fear, and this is a character who's like really strong and like proud, and then she's just like hears his name and she's like frozen in the water, like she can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. And then he gives us one of the worst arcs in the entire series. So I think just for that alone, he's in B tier.
Yeah, definitely a worse dad than Goku.
We don't need that candy ass ending where everyone's happy.
No,
he's a terrible dad.
So before we get to our final four, let's just do a quick recap and check ourselves. So in the best dads, let's go from best dads to worst dads. So it should get progressively worse. So we have Joichiro Saiba as a good dad. We have Joseph and Vegeta are somehow decent dads, and I think Joseph is kind of questionable just because how he has Josuke. In single mom tier, we have Paragus, Yasop, and Van Hohenheim. Needs a vasectomy tier is Goku, the fourth Hokage, and Garp. Call Child Protective Services, we have Endeavor, Dio, and Azami. Borderline villain is Dororo dad, Judge, and Aaron's dad. And then in Show Tucker tier, we have Gambino. Does this all check out to you so far? Or is there anything on here that's kind of iffy?
No, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's go Hunter x Hunter. Let's go to Ging Freaks.
Okay, what do you think?
So, he's also an absent parent. But he's also an absent parent in the same way as Yasop, where his absences inspires his son. Right?
Right.
And his son wants to follow in his footsteps. He's almost exactly like Yasop, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. And he shows up at the end and kind of, I don't want to say he redeems himself, but he at least shows up a little bit to be a dad.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not putting him in E tier.
No. I wasn't thinking E. I was thinking C, because even when like Gon is like dying in the hospital, his dad still doesn't visit him, and his dad is aware of that.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, he'd probably be like the definition of D. But the fact that like, I don't think he cares about his child at all, right?
No. I mean, no.
No. C's a good one. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You proposed this one, Biakuya from Dr. Stone. Legitimately great anime dad.
He's not even questionable. He's if we had a great dad, he'd be there. He's good dad. I really wanted to talk about him because I love him.
Yeah.
Such an amazing dad. And apparently Senku is adopted by him.
Even though they have the same hair and
even though they look exactly the same, but like he does nothing but love Senku and like support his science and support his experiments and like buy him stuff to do experiments throughout his entire life. And then when the world turns to stone, his dad is literally like 100% sure that Senku will survive at some point, and like he sets like the future in motion for Senku.
Really heartfelt. Yeah. Fantastic dad. For anyone who hasn't seen Dr. Stone, we just released an episode about Dr. Stone on YouTube, and fantastic. Probably one of the best parts of Dr. Stone, even though he's in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I guess we'll go Dragon, right?
Yeah, Monkey D. Dragon.
Single mom tier again, right?
Yeah. The only moment we have between him and Luffy is when the Straw Hats are going to the Grand Line, and he interferes with Smoker.
I wonder if he even did that to help Luffy. No, I think he definitely does that to help Luffy, right?
Yeah, he'd have to.
Maybe he was just there to like fuck around with Smoker because he doesn't like him.
That's also possible, but
he's like shitty
Smoker's
pigs.
too much of a small fry for Dragon to care, I feel like.
Yeah. I wish we're 1,000 chapters in. I wish we knew something about this guy.
Has Garp or Dragon commented on one or the other?
Maybe I'm just making shit up right now, but maybe there was like a marine scene where someone's like, Garp, your son, Dragon, is up to no good again.
I don't think that happened.
It's in my head canon. All right, we finish off with the worst for last, Show Tucker. the best dad
So-
of all.
Where would you put Show Tucker?
I just put him in the good dad tier. The very
I know.
best. For the sake of science, he advanced alchemy. He changed the world with
He's probably not a good dad, but I don't think Show Tucker is Show Tucker tier.
What are you thinking?
He's definitely call CPS, at least.
Okay, now we're just fucking with everybody, right? Show Tucker is Show Tucker tier.
No, I don't agree.
You're just playing the heel right now.
I'm not. I don't think his his intentions were pure.
Is he not the reason why you stopped watching Full Metal Alchemist? Is he not the reason why you stopped on like episode 15 and never finished the series?
It's very disturbing to watch. Yes.
You
Does
have
that
a
make him
character
bad
so.
dad?
Say that again.
Does that make him a bad dad?
It makes it very cruel to the anime users.
Yeah, but does that make him a bad dad? Is the question.
No, I think. Spoiler alert. I think I don't even feel bad because this is a 15-year-old show now or 20-year-old show, but I think turning your child into a chimera for the sake of losing your license is what makes you a bad dad.
Ah, yeah. You know what? Yeah. All right. Maybe A.
Maybe A.
Maybe S. Maybe his Show Tucker tier.
Maybe CPS. I'll settle on CPS.
I think he might be S.
All right, Show Tucker goes to Show Tucker tier.
But it was close.
It was it was a good debate.
It was a good debate. You almost had me.
Well, that was fun.
What do you think of this list, Justin?
I think, are there any dads that we missed? I think that our list is pretty solid.
Which of these dads would you want to be raised by? If they would like stay in your life, actually.
I mean, definitely one of the good dads, right?
Okay,
Definitely
minus
Joichiro.
Yeah, minus those two.
I feel like Vegeta is. I still think Vegeta's kind of an abusive dad. I think Joseph maybe we misplaced a little bit.
Where do you think Joseph could have been?
Maybe in the single mom tier. Like I don't know how good of
No,
a.
I think if anything, he would have been he's on the same tier as them, but he could have been a good dad because of Holly.
But here's the thing: do we know how good of a dad he actually is to Holly? We just know that he went to save her at the end. How was he
Holly
first?
also loves him.
Holly's also an idiot.
Yes.
No, he probably is a
Maybe-
decent dad to Holly.
Maybe I want Paragus as my dad.
Honestly, if you're not a superpowered freak of nature, he probably would have been pretty good to you.
Yeah.
That's
And I'm
not
not.
a bad choice. And
All right,
the
I'm
fourth
going
Hokage
Paragus.
probably would be a pretty decent dad. I wouldn't mind
I
him.
fucked up. Yeah, that would have been a much better choice.
Yeah, I'll take him as long as there's no demon occurring. I mean, it is 2021. Something could
Can I
happen.
change my answer?
No, that was your final answer.
All right. Paragus is my dad.
Papa Paragus. Listeners, viewers, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with us. If you guys want to check out more of our content, you can go to S Class on YouTube, or you can also reach out to us on Instagram at sclass_YT or Twitter, same handle, or shoot us any questions over at sclasspodcast@gmail.com. Rob, you have any last things you want to say to the viewers?
You can also find me on Twitter as SClassRob.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, guys.
I mean, I would suggest doing it.
All right,
If you want the granddaddy of Twitter accounts, it's me.
guys. You don't waste your time, but thank you guys for sticking with us, and we'll see you guys next time.